Hello and welcome back to the Tuesday Checklist, the show where we take inspiration from a recent or upcoming game to spark a conversation about often entirely unrelated things. This week we're all still trying to get over the fact Dave finally earned his very first Platinum Trophy, live on stage no less. Well done, Dave, a story you can tell your grandchildren one day. In the meantime, the rest of us are going to sit on the sofa and tell you, what was your first Platinum? Let us know in the comments, but before that, here's Nathan with his.
Okay, so my first Platinum, which I knew what it was before I came up here, but to remind myself, I went onto my PSN profile and I just looked at some stats about it, which has been interesting. So my first one was on PlayStation 3, a couple of years after Platinums and trophies became a thing, and it was the original Burnout Paradise. When I first played it, it's incredible open world, tons of you can sort of explore. It's almost like platformy in different places. Almost like a platformer with a platform car, like a car PG, platform car. I can't do that. Anyway, and I bounced off it. Anyway, I bounced off the game, and I came back to it when they did. Do you remember they were talking about doing their year of DLC? And they did the Big Surf Island DLC, and I think that they probably had quite a lot of feedback about people like me who were basically well into Burnout, but had not got into it for one reason or another. And they made the design of Big Surf Island like a condensed form of the main map. So it was smaller, there was way more kind of verticality, and they signaled it up more. So when you could go into like a car park and then jump to the next roof and then find a collectible and those sorts of things, they made it much more obvious to players, and they gave you a specific vehicle, this buggy, which made it way easier to do the stunts, like the stunt modes in it, the stunt events. I was just like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to chain points together? So once I'd played Big Surf Island, and I was playing it specifically with a friend, I was just like, oh my God. It was like being given a taste of something extremely addictive and then realizing I've also have this lifetime supply of this addictive substance right here. So I just went straight back into the main island and started playing the game like a lot, obsessively. And the other big thing about Burnout Paradise was that it was online on PS3, and I hadn't played much online on PS3. It wasn't just online, Criterion had worked incredibly hard to get like a seamless online-offline divide. So I think it was you either pressing right or left on the D-pad, and you would the world would kind of fade a little bit. It would like do a small dissolve, literally like half a second, and then you would just be in an online lobby with either random people or friends or whatever you wanted. And they had an enormous list of, I think it was 500, I can't remember what the name of these like little tasks were, but it was just like, do 10 of these things with friends, do 10 of these other things. Like, and you can set challenges, you can set races, tons of customizable stuff. And this long list of like, achieve these like hundreds of things, I was like, okay, yes, I will. And I had a friend at work called James Jarvis, who still works for at Future, he works on Games Radar. And he and I got incredibly into the game and had like a small community of people that we'd play online with, and it was the first group of friends that I had. Lots of these people who I have never spoken to in real life, I will see pop up in my friends list now, and I'll be like, oh yeah, from Burnout Paradise, that's where I know this person from. There's maybe 6 or 10 people, and almost every night we would go on and just do like 10 of these little online, and we wanted to 100% the whole thing, and me and James were having a little bit of a race to do it. And somewhere along the line we also got into knocking down the trophies for the Platinum itself in the main game, and the thing which really held us up was the gates, the crash gates, and the billboards, finding them around the world. I did not think to look them up on a guide. I don't know why, but you could do it zone by zone. And I guess the funny thing about this trophy is I beat James just about, and then I don't know why it was taking so long that we ran out of steam in the end for the online stuff. So I never 100% completed the game, but I love the game. We played it online with Criterion because we used to talk about it in the magazine so often. And obviously when Burnout Paradise Remastered came out PS4, I did it all again. And the first time round, and it can tell you, this website also can track the stats of how long it takes you to do a Platinum from the first time you play a game to when you get the Platinum trophy. And when I first did Burnout, it took me 5 months. And when I did it on PS4, it took me 2 weeks. So like, just absorbing it.
So my first Platinum trophy was Assassin's Creed 2. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the Assassin's Creed 2 Platinum. I just got it. I looked at the trophy list, I thought, this looks really easy. and I just got it. And the only well, it wasn't really difficult. The only sort of thing that took me quite a while was the feathers. You had to collect all the feathers in the game, and I found maybe 80 out of the 100 just off my own back, and then just used a guide to find the remaining feathers. And that's my amazing story of my first platinum Assassin's Creed 2. My second platinum is a bit more interesting, so I figured I'd maybe talk a bit about that.
Let's do it.
My second platinum trophy was Heavy Rain. I'm about to spoil Heavy Rain for anyone who's not finished Heavy Rain. But you have to see all the endings of the game, and I believe there are 18 endings in Heavy Rain. You don't have to play the game 18 times to do that. Like when you finish the game, I think each character's ending counts as an ending, so you maybe get 4 endings every time you finish the game. But it did mean I basically had to see various versions of Ethan Mars dying. Lots of them are very depressing and gruesome. Also, basically I had to see all the characters dying. Obviously, there's an ending you have to get where the origami killer completely gets away with it, and that was the most interesting one, making sure that all the other characters failed and died as early as possible, making sure that the killer's tracks were completely covered up, that there were no witnesses, that no one suspected him.
Rob, that was my actual ending. No, I wasn't trying to get it, but that's the one I got, where he's leaning out from a tree at the end, just looking at the children.
Yep. No, that's not the perfect ending, no.
The perfectly bad ending.
The perfectly bad ending. It's a gold trophy. Maybe you have got it, I don't know. Maybe it's called Perfect Crime. It's a gold trophy, and I remember that being the last one I needed for the
He definitely got away scot-free.
Yeah, he does get away scot-free.
In my one.
And you see him, I think the last thing you see is him just walking down the street. It's still raining, because obviously this is the bad ending, so the sun hasn't come out for this ending.
Yeah.
So he's walking down the street, and other people are walking past him, completely oblivious to the fact that this is the origami killer.
And
he
he's
just
still with
doesn't.
Lauren Winter, isn't he? Like, they're just...
No, Lauren's dead.
Oh, is she dead?
Everyone's
Rob's
dead.
killed
Everyone's
Lauren's dead.
Oh, I thought she was oblivious in that ending. Like.
Yeah, I let Lauren die in the car. You know, it's that bit in the car where the car goes in the lake, and you're like, escape! And it's like, cool, bye Lauren. She's just there. Maybe she's fine. Maybe she's still just there in the car at the bottom of the lake alive. But no, I think Lauren dies in the perfect version of the Perfect Crime trophy. And it ends with the origami killer just walking down the street, and he does a little smirk to camera, and you're like, yeah. Completely got away with that.
Are you, or just you, Rob?
But maybe it was me. I'll have to check the footage again. If he doesn't do a smirk, then it's me that's done the smirk, and I've just projected that onto my memory of the game. But also, I got to see all of the really happy versions of the ending as well. So I've seen all of the endings to Heavy Rain. I've seen the one where Madison and Ethan get together and they buy a really nice apartment, and it's beautiful and modern, and Sean's there running around it, and it's like a happy family, and you're like, yeah, I did it. But yeah, I've seen, I think, various versions of each character dying. Like Madison, you can have her dying. I remember you talking about this, Nathan. You just jumped out of a building.
I thought she'd be okay.
Because
the building was on fire, to be fair.
In the apartment fire, and you were just like, Joy, I might be able to make it, but I don't think I'll make it.
It's like 2 floors, man. I don't know what's wrong with her legs. Well, they're broken.
I was going to say,
idea.
they're inside her now.
And that was my second Platinum Trophy. My first Platinum Trophy, a bit less exciting, was Assassin's Creed 2. Definitely one of the easier Platinum Trophies you can get.
So it's quite interesting because, Rob, you just said that you thought Assassin's Creed 2 was the easiest Platinum you could have got.
Yeah.
I think mine can unintentionally top that. My first Platinum was Sly Raccoon from the Sly trilogy.
No.
It was.
I can't believe this.
So when the Sly trilogy first came out, I was incredibly excited for it because Sly Cooper 3 is one of my favourite games ever, so I was like, I get to play it even more and again and again and again. But I never fully played Sly Raccoon or Sly 2. I only ever played the demos for those because, you know, I couldn't find the physical versions. So I booted up Sly Raccoon, and just playing the game gets you the platinum. You get a trophy
Really?
called you get a trophy called Sucker Punched, where it's literally like you've entered the Sly Cooper universe. So literally booting up the game, you get a trophy. You get a trophy for collecting a single coin, and these coins are like, you know, when you're like attack a box, and then there's like, if you pick up a coin, for example, you get a trophy for that. And there was another really easy one. It's like, you've entered the world of Sly Cooper. So it's like you haven't booted up the game, you've actually clicked on new game. So you've got to do like all the boss levels, and because Sly also has abilities that you can purchase, like they call it like the shadow ability and stuff. And whenever I play Sly, I always get those anyway, so it's not as if afterwards I was like, oh, what trophies have I got left? It was like, I was just naturally purchasing all these abilities as they went along, and then it was my first platinum.
So I want to know about your journey here, Rosie. Were you thinking at any point, was it a surprise at the end of the game, is what I'm saying? Oh, it was? So you didn't even think you were going to get it, and then it just popped?
No, this was, so when I first got the PlayStation 3, I always saw platinums, and I wanted my first platinum to be Katamari Forever, because I played hours and hours and hours into Katamari Forever. Again, it's one of my all-time favourite games, and I really want, because that's also got like, you have to complete the collection 100%, and it's a long time. So that's one that I actually really did try to do. And then obviously Sly came out. I was really, really excited because I love Sly Cooper. And then I booted up the game, and I think literally when I finished it, it was just, then the platinum was there. And I was like, yay, it was great. But I think even if the platinum wasn't like that, I remember a part of me was like, God, I'm gonna get the platinum on all 3 of these games. Because finally I've wanted to play Sly Raccoon since I first saw the demo in one of the earlier PS2 demo discs. I really, really want to do this. So come on, I'll please my younger self and I'll get the platinum. And the trial to get the platinum was just a lot easier than I thought.
You've got all 3 as well.
I do, yes. So as soon as I did Sly Raccoon, I did a marathon of them. I did like all 3 of them back to back. I don't think it took me, because Sly 3 is definitely the biggest game out of all of them, and that one actually has some challenges which actually do, like, they're quite tough, some of the challenges, a lot of time trials on some of the missions and stuff. But really, I just wanted to 100% it because that's where you get Dimitri's secret song called Greasy Sweet, and I really wanted that song.
Here it comes.
Get prepared for this. No, because I just really wanted Greasy Sweet because I love that song, and I tried to make a phrase from it be a catchphrase in real life, and it didn't work. But this is going off topic.
What's the catchphrase? Come on, Rosie.
It's juice. Who's got the juice?
Oh my word!
Man, that's where that came
That's where it
from.
comes
Welcome
from.
to the origins of Juice. Who's got the juice?
I always. Is that why you called yourself Professor Juice?
No.
So it's working backwards from there.
Yeah.
Is this like Rosie the prequel?
This is like an origin story.
Yeah.
Because when you
Origin
beat
story.
Sly Cooper 3 100%, you get a music video called Greasy Sweet, and it's amazing, and I love it. And it's a really nice little bonus. I think it's like one of those really nice, well done, you beat the game 100%, here's something fun and crazy that you didn't expect.
What?
And I went to school trying to go to people being like, it's got the juice, and they all looked at me like, what? But yeah, let's just say my first collection of platinums, because they were all back to back. Technically it was Sly Raccoon, but the Sly trilogy were my first set of platinums.
I feel like we've learned a lot about Rosie today.
So I knew my first platinum because I think I've said this before, I'm not really a platinum person. I like to play as many games as possible, and platinums tend to prohibit you from doing that. You end up going a little bit bonkers and playing one game for a long time. Nath.
I feel what?
So my first platinum was Modern Warfare Remastered.
Cool.
Yeah, and I didn't intend to get the platinum for it, I don't think. It's never been something that I've sat down really and been like, I'm gonna do this. And I played it through, and then just was really, Modern Warfare blew me away. If you've watched my video about it on the channel, you'll understand why. But I was obsessed with it, absolutely obsessed with it. I fell in love with all the characters. I was devastated when, spoiler alert, people die. It completely, I was somebody who's always loved kind of FPS games, but never really felt like I was that good at them, even though it's my favourite genre. And Modern Warfare completely changed that for me, and I felt like a boss, even though I definitely wasn't. And it felt really amazing. And so I remember as well playing it with friends when it was remastered, and being able to be like, this is the game that I love, and this is the game that I always talk about, like, please play this. And then somebody was like, oh, have you ever played it on Veteran? And I was like, no, obviously not. Like, of course I haven't. And then I started to be like, but maybe I could do it.
I was going to ask, because I have got experience of playing the one on PS3.
Yeah.
I played Remastered, but I didn't even look into the trophy list. So you still have to do it through on Veteran, because it's... What? 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I didn't even know I was going to get the platinum.
Yeah.
But you would know if you were doing Veteran mode, isn't it super hard?
Well, it was more that my challenge to myself was more getting through on Veteran, which completely changes the game. So it's much harder, but it's also for me, you'll be surprised to hear, I'm very cavalier, and Modern Warfare is a very forgiving game when it comes to health and respawning and that kind of stuff. So I can kind of just run through and like, obviously there are like levels where they want you to like pace it and wait for everyone. I'm just running in like, like just throwing in flashbangs. And obviously you cannot do that in Veteran. And so I had to, so at the beginning I almost gave up. I was just really frustrated. I was having to kind of creep through it and be really slow, which I hate. And then I don't know, suddenly I started to really love that. And I loved having to be really strategic about it. And it was like, I know.
It's the game that taught you to be patient.
Truly, and like the joy of setting up not that there's a huge amount of setting up to do, but the joy of like looking ahead and anticipating and then watching a plan happen rather than like running in, flailing and shooting and then being like, oh cool, I killed everyone. But then, oh my god, what's it called? One shot, one kill. Right. With like oh god, when you have to, basically in that scene you are hanging out by a Ferris wheel, which if you haven't played the game doesn't make any sense, but and then your partner gets injured foolishly and he's like, oh, you just fend everyone off until they can come and rescue us. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool mate, don't worry about it. Bro. Yeah, and that was just insanely hard. I found that so difficult. I think that was the part that almost broke me, and it was just, I was just doing it like maniacally, like just silently, just in the dark, looking at the screen being like, okay, fine, let's start again. Okay, like just over and over and over. And once I did it, I then I was like, oh my god, like it was, yeah, do you know what I mean? It could be, and I was like, and then I remember thinking, well, now I could just get the platinum, I guess. Like, yeah, I was like, do you know what I mean? I was like, what else do I need to do? I'll get a kill with every weapon? Fine. How hard could it be? And so it was the freedom of having done such a difficult thing. And so, yeah, that was my first platinum and last for quite a while, I think.
Right, yeah.
I was just like,
break after this.
Yeah, and I also just thought, I'm never going to do anything as good as this again.
And Norman, I let him die in the fight in
There's
the.
something horrible about that phrase, man.
I let him die.
Press a button to save Norman. No.
There's that fight you have to do.
What can I say? I needed the platinum, so Norman needed to die. Let us know in the comments what your own first platinums were. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you always know when a new Tuesday checklist goes live. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.
For the players.